All right, folks, today I'm going to jump into my comprehensive software package that I use. It's called Boldin. There's a link to 2 free weeks in the show notes. And periodically I go through it and show features of the software. I don't want to make a 2 hour video, so I break it down into small components. Today I'm going to be talking about net worth. I'm going to be talking about rates of return and inflation. And there's been some changes in these areas that I think are exciting. So let's jump right into it. Going to share my screen. There you go. You should be looking at my screen now. And this is the overview screen. And Bolden has made a change to the overview screen. You could see the result of the Monte Carlo. This couple has a 94% probability of success. They have 1.3 million in as their net worth. 400,000 of that is their house, so they have 900,000 of investable assets. So let's take a look at them briefly first. So they have 650,000 in a traditional IRA. They have 150 in a brokerage account, and they have a savings account with and checking with $100,000 in it. So back to the overview, you can clearly see the net worth statement right here. And when you update it each month or how often you do, you can go in and see how much it's changed. I lowered this person's net worth just to make a point and use less than $1 million as their investable assets. I just wanted to do that. So that's why that's showing down 650. So this couple they're 61 years old, planning on taking Social Security at 70 years old. One of the spouses is working, planning on retiring in August. So let's take a look at rates of return. So here's where there are some changes. Let's just look at retirement IRA, $650,000. Right now, the rates of returns is, if you can see this box says moderately aggressive, 8.8% is an average. Okay, I can select aggressive for that fund, moderately aggressive, moderate, whatever I want. These are based on historical investments. If you have it aggressive, like your 100% stock, you're going to have a lot of volatility. Let's just select that one. You come under rate inspector, it says, okay, it's going to average 10.25. Optimistic, you're going to average 12.3. Pessimistic, 8.2. It automatically puts those in. I believe those are plus or minus 20%. And then the standard deviation, look at that standard deviation, 23%. That means volatility. That's what that means. That means the volatility of this selected rate of return is really high, 23%. So if you use 2 standard deviations, that means like plus or minus 45% of this average of 10. So that's just huge. So let's change this from aggressive down to moderate, and you can see the standard deviation drops from 23 to 16. The standard deviation, what's critical about it, it's used in your Monte Carlo. Okay, so you can use historical rates of return, you can use custom, and you can use optimistic and pessimistic rates like you have been in the past. But this, I think, is better for most people because honestly, they've been messing this up. And there's been too many errors, and the feedback to Boldin is, hey, let's automatically calculate the aggressive and pessimistic, or the optimistic and pessimistic. I'm going to put in moderately aggressive back in here and then save that. What's been happening is people have been putting in their pessimistic numbers so low, it's been causing their Monte Carlo to fail, and they choose not to retire because they're scared they get 15% return every time they hit pessimistic. So this automatically puts in more reasonable numbers and makes sure that there's not any errors in input. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So you can make that change for your brokerage account too. You go in here and rate of return, I've got that listed as moderately conservative. a little more conservative in that fund. And here's the optimistic and pessimistic, and the standard deviation is automatically calculated. So I think that's a good thing. So there you go on rates of return. The next thing I want to look at is rate assumptions. I want to look at inflation. So general inflation, this is, you know what general inflation is. I guess I don't need to explain it. I chose a historical average of 2.54. You can put a custom number in there if you choose, and then it has plus or minus, I believe it is 20% to get optimistic and pessimistic. Tell me if I'm wrong there on 20%. I didn't look that up. But that's what I heard somebody else say it was. So I guess that's bad information passing on. But there is optimistic and pessimistic calculated for you here. One of the things that why this is important is people have been putting in, under a pessimistic situation, they'll put in high inflation, say a number like a 5% pessimistic, high inflation, and then they'll have a low Social Security cost of living. Okay. What you need to know is your cost of living for Social Security tracks inflation. They're not exactly the same. They're based on different metrics, but if there is high general inflation, Social Security COLA will be on the higher side too. It won't go down. And people were putting that in backwards and causing them to make errors. So I think this is a good thing to put in, historical numbers and let it automatically calculate pessimistic and optimistic for you. So there's the changes. Also that it's got a net worth on there. This is addition to taxes. If you ask me why I buy Boldin and have been for 5 years, it's because of the Roth Conversion Explorer, and allows me to have confidence to say I'm going to do 100,000 conversion this year and write a check for $22,000 to the federal government. Not write a check, I do it all online, but that is painful to do. So you want a lot of confidence that you're doing your taxes right. And that's where Boldin excels times 10. Okay. Sorry to keep vibrating the screen here. They excel times 10. Now, for you power users out there, and I consider myself one of those, I like being able to enter my rates of return manually, do a custom entry, and also have a custom standard deviation. And that's because not only do I want to see my plan looks like it will be successful. Oh, I got a 94% probability of success. I want to make it fail. And then, I want to raise inflation up to it fails. And then I want to tweak other things like my spending, my rates of return, where my investments are. So I know the levers that I can pull. This plan, when I turn off this screen, will be wrong 1 second later because inflation's different. My investments are different. The important thing in planning is knowing the levers. And that's why I like to create my plan, be accurate, and then I play with it a little bit to make it fail. I give it lower rates of return, maybe change inflation, maybe pull Social Security in from 70 to 65, and just see what happens to my plan and then solve it. So I like that feature, and that's been one of the best features inside of Boldin for the last 5 years for me. But I do think these changes on rates of return and rates of inflation are better for the general public to prevent errors from happening. I've gotten contacted by dozens of people around, hey, I'm using this and I got a 15% rate of return. I'm scared to retire now. And I'll talk them through it and find out there was an input error. So I think this is going to fix that for most people. Well, there you go. If you got any questions regarding this video or on Boldin, let me know. Boldin does have a chat feature in it that you can ask them a question. Generally, within 1 business day, they're going to reply to that question. They also have classrooms. Go over here on the far left. They have Classroom, the 4th one from the bottom, where they have canned videos on how to use each one of these screens. If you want your hand held through one of these, they have a advisor that can do that for you. It's a couple $100. I don't know see if it'll come up here. I don't know exactly how to get to that. Let's see that. No, it's not here. Those are just written responses. So I'll get out of the help center. But it's a couple $100 to have somebody just walk you through this if you choose to do that. Most people don't need that. There's a lot of pop-up menus that help you through that. So there you go. That's today's video. This is Joe out.